Donovan, what do you take away from this one?
For a group that has been together for 2 days in practice, to introduce a player like him with no practice, no workout time. We worked out for 10 minutes. It went exactly how I thought it would, trying to figure out, what we had going on. Everybody trying to figure that out, right? So first half, shout out to J.A. too for, continuing to hold it down throughout that. And the bench unit continued to do that. But, all in all, we're going to figure things out. But, we saw a lot late game that we can kind of play with and kind of go from there. But any win's a good win at this point. We need them all. But we just know, in the back of our heads, okay, we really had no time to work on nothing. We just out there playing. So not bad, and we'll get better.
What did you make of James's debut?
I mean, it's funny, you have a guy like that, and he's telling me and telling Jay to go, but then you're also telling him to go, right? So it's you try to figure that out, and that's special when you have a guy who's that established and has done a lot to come in and have that approach. And I think at halftime, it kind of flipped for us. We figured it out, but he's steady, man. He's it's great to be able to be off the ball, watch him pick apart the defense. We have our two different stints, but he's steady, and then when you need him, he's there.
You two combined for 32 of the 39 in the fourth quarter. What do you feel like was working well between both of you?
Well, I mean, like I said, at halftime, I was like, I'm doing too much. I'm trying to figure it out. And he was like, yeah, so it's all right, just go be you, right? And both of us just be ourselves and we'll figure it out. So I just continue to try to be attack-minded and get back to what I've been doing. And then him continue to make plays, whether it was scoring, passing. I think he had 8, 9 assists, right? And then the fourth quarter, it's just one of those situations where there's a lot of space. You got myself, you have him, you have Sam out there, you have J.A., and then Keon. It could be J.T., it could be Dean, it could be, you know what I mean? So it's just a lot of space, and kind of get you room to attack and just make the right play.
What signs, if any, did you see that have you thinking, okay, this is what it can become?
Can or can't? So,
can.
The fourth quarter. I mean, you look at it understanding that we can play fast, we can pick apart, you know what I mean? And, obviously it's one game, right? Even if we would have lost tonight, I wouldn't have been sitting here the sky's falling. We didn't, at the end of the day, look, we figured some things out, just be ourselves. And once we get some film and practice time in, that's definitely going to help too, kind of figuring out our principles and whatnot and what we're all comfortable with. And, especially for guys like a Sam or Jalen to kind of figure out what he likes when he's in with that group, and then also J.A. as well. So it's going to be a work in progress continuously, but saw a lot of things that were positive.
How do you characterize the impact the bench made specifically tonight?
I mean, shout out to the young guys, and then Dennis and Keon. They just wreak havoc. They come in and just and it's I don't want to call it two different styles, but I think defensively, when you're picking up like that, being able to pressure, now we're just playing off turnovers or misses and we're running. It's hard, even when we're down, it gives you a chance to come back, you know what I mean, and you're just getting stops, and that's a special group. And, our young guys have been doing it all year, and now you add two guys who have done it, Keon and Dennis is a vet, you know what I mean, it's big time.
You mentioned a couple of times the communication between you and James out there on the court. Obviously, it is going to take some time, but his ability to connect with teammates, how much do you think that is going to help kind of expedite the process of you guys figuring it out?
Yeah, I mean, when you have a guy, like I said, that's established like that to come in and be no, go, right? It takes that little bit of, excuse me, not awkwardness because I've known him, but it's one of those things you're trying to figure it out. It takes that, and it's all right. And it took a half for it to be okay. You know what I mean? And I think that's a testament to him. It's a testament to our group. And it's not just me, right? It's everybody. And you saw it. Let's continue to take steps. And then when it was time for the fourth quarter, just pick and choose and get to our actions and do what we do.
Last one. James is one of the best isolation players. I think he had a 42% frequency of isolation this year. What's the key to this not being a your turn, my turn thing, but being a partnership, the ball doesn't stick to him?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing that he did tonight was just kicking the ball ahead, right? Allowing guys to create. Then if they have nothing, now it's back to him, right? You know what I mean? And now we're in pick and rolls, and he's as much as he is a hell of an isolation player, he's a phenomenal pick and roll player. So now it's we're in together. You run pick and roll with J.A., and I'm in the corner, or Sam's in that corner. What are you going to do, right? And if that doesn't happen, we have the second side. And it wasn't perfect tonight. We're still trying to get accustomed to all that, but that's what you see, right? And I think he I'm not going to speak for him, but I would think he wants to, it's tough being isolation over and over again. You kind of want a break to be able to get off and then do different things. And when you have guys like we have in this locker room, especially for him and myself, being able to get off and then say, hey, go make a play. Like we ran the ATO for Jalen Tyson to keep it and get downhill. Yeah, you missed, but like that's what you want to see, right? Continue to make plays for each other, and we are going to get ours and figure it out throughout, but just continue to use us as a collective.
Okay, thanks, Donovan. Thank you.
Thank you. Jared, what did you see from the group tonight?
Resiliency. We got down, I think it was like 10 points in the fourth quarter or something like that. All the momentum was going towards them, but I don't know, we didn't let it rattle us. We knew we had to get a lot of stops, and we got it done.
Donovan mentioned while you guys were trying to figure things out early in the game that you kind of like kept things steady. What did you feel like was your responsibility within that?
Just bring the energy and, like you said, bring the consistency. My thing is to get other players open and find windows to be able for me to score, and just try to do what I can for the team on both ends of the floor. And at the end of the day, when I do my job, they're going to do their job at the end of the game like they did and close it out.
What'd you make of James's debut?
Incredible. At the beginning of the game, wasn't scoring as much as as you would expect, but he was distributing the ball to everybody. And at the end of the game, he took over. He made a couple step back threes and got us back in the game.
So much of the conversation after the trade has been about like how James impacts the bigs and how he elevates the bigs.
Right.
Did you see signs of that early on tonight? And if so, how do you think that's going to help your game?
Right. In the pick and roll, I feel like he found every opportunity to exploit it. And honestly, even if it wasn't a pass to me, even we were just creating the action, creating gravity for players to bring it to us, and he'd find either Sam or Jalen on the wing cutting. So everything we did worked out.
Donovan mentioned that the pace of the game with James in there, being able to do the hit-ahead passes, and you guys running the offense, and if it's not there, to kick it back. What does that bring to you guys?
That's what the NBA is nowadays, pace. Everything's about pace. How quickly can you score? How quickly can you get it across half court? And that's exactly what we're looking for, especially with guys like that, who's able to push the pace and make those smart decisions and just find guys when they get open. It's big for us.
What did you see out of James down the stretch?
He made every decision right, whether it was him scoring, giving him the ball and letting him ISO, or finding a guy on the roll, or just even on the defensive end getting stops.
Fourth quarter, Donovan and James together had 32 of your 39 points.
Right.
What do you feel like this can become together?
It's one of those things where you have to pick your poison. It's one of those things where you want to guard Donovan, just kick it to James, let him do that, and vice versa. It's just going to be dangerous for a lot of teams going forward.
You showcased a lot of moves offensively today. You got more in the bag?
Every big works on something like that, and it was just a perfect night for me to showcase my moves.
Okay, last one. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys.